Hi, my name is Bryan,
And I'm Anne.
and we are deacons in our ministry. And we don't really have like a dramatic story of, like we gave X amount of money and God blessed us with Y amounts, but we definitely have seen the blessings of just living a lifestyle of giving. And yeah.
So we're just gonna talk about like how it started for each of us. So for me, I grew up in a Christian family. My parents taught me about tithing from a very young age. They incorporated it into my life. So any birthday money I got, or any New Year's money, like any money that came my way, any money that I earned, I was supposed to tithe it. And so I always gave 10% to the Lord. So that as I grew older and I, got a job and started really working, it wasn't really a question anymore. It was just something that I did, and it was kind of like an absolute thing in my life.
And for me, I didn't really grow up, my parents weren't believers when I was young. But by the time I was like in college or something, I knew about the importance of tithing, and so around like 2005, I started working in the film industry, basically living like a starving artist life. And even though technically I was a lot of those years I was under the poverty line, I still always gave my tithe, and I spent all my whatever money I had, like spare money, on going on mission trips and just serving God.
So then once we started dating, we were praying for financial blessing. We were each, I mean, I didn't really know what Brian's tithing life was like, but for myself, I was, still tithing. We were, serving at the church. We were going on mission trips. And so when it came to actually discussing what our married life giving would look like, once we got engaged and we were talking about the future, it was actually a very simple conversation. It was probably a couple sentences where one of us may have brought up, okay, like, so, you know, I tithe my income, and when we get married we'll tithe, and the other said, yeah, of course. And so then that was kind of it. And so it was easy then to agree on what exactly we would be doing, and there was really no pushback even once we got married. It was a pretty easy transition for us, and even now, like whenever each of us feel convicted to give, it's very easy. Yeah, it's easy. The person
There's
just kind of says, okay.
there's no question.
Right,
We're
right.
yes, we're gonna give.
Right. So yeah, like when we started off our marriage, we actually tithed our wedding money. And it's interesting because when we got married, our parents helped contribute to our wedding. So we just assumed that whatever money came in would be going to them, because especially from their friends and family members. But when it came down to it, they wanted to gift the money to us. And so, we were obviously very thankful. But yeah, so then we tithed the money that we received, and like all of the gift money that we received. And we're actually both pretty bad with money. We're like horrible at budgeting. But we always give first with the money that we have, and then we just try to work in whatever in the rest of the money that we have. So yeah, but even though we're bad with money, God has really blessed us. We live very comfortably, and our lifestyle, it allows us to, like, we really feel that God has honored our giving and allowed us to live not only comfortably but generously, so that we can also give to others, and support our missionaries and go on missions, and really I guess like invest our money in the Lord.
And so when we got married, even the first time we went to the accountant to do our taxes, he was looking at all the numbers, and like when he saw like our charitable giving, he actually kind of thought it was like a joke. Like, how could it be like this much?
Well, so you're like, oh, and then I have my annual contribution statement from my church, and he was like, oh yeah, but that won't make a difference. And then we gave it to him and he was like, oh, okay, yeah, no, this makes a difference.
So yeah, we just always, from the very beginning, had this heart to give and always gave first, and there's never any question about that. And yeah, again, I think God has really blessed us for that and honored that, and so
Yeah,
like
I mean, he's like allowed us to go on a lot of mission trips. I mean, anyone who knows Bryan, you guys know that he's like the last 2 or 3 years is like constantly on mission trips. And so, and then like we've also been able to take Sasha with us to Tajikistan and to Israel. And so, God has really blessed us in that way and allowing us to be able to support our own mission trips and, serve him in that way. And, Bryan has been the rector at 3 international TDs. And it's not like we have a ton of money or anything like that. When Bryan decided, or we decided that Bryan would be the rector at Israel TD, we had to come up with $15,000. And it's not like,
we didn't have like
yeah.
15.
Again, we're horrible with money. So we like
We
don't
didn't have-
save a ton of money or anything like
We
that.
didn't have any money actually.
Right. And so, but then the money came in so easily, and God
provided exactly $15,000, and we didn't even ask anybody for money. Like people just started bringing it to us, even though we never even said anything. So that it was really all God allowing that to happen, and wanting to honor us, wanting to bless Israel as well.
Right. And even with Sasha, I tithe her, or I guess we tithe her money. So any birthday money that she gets, and any New Year's money, like Christmas money or whatever, she doesn't know yet, but I still tithe the money because I really think it's important for children to start young. Like for me, it was easy because it was just ingrained in me. Like this is what you're supposed to do, and so I feel like and in my life, God has definitely provided for me in like always. So, yeah. And then in work, so, I like God has also blessed me professionally. So for me, once we got married and, we had given of our tithe and all of that, when I needed to find a new job that would give me more money because I was going to be the breadwinner because Bryan is freelance, and then I was thinking if I want to have kids, then we're gonna need to be able to, we're gonna need to earn more money. And so within 3 months of us getting married, I was able to get a new job where I still am, and I'm guaranteed a raise every year, really good benefits, very flexible schedule, so that we've been on mission trips since I've been at that job. And all of my supervisors have always been very supportive of me, even though they're not believers. And, I just really feel that God has shown me so much favor in my workplace.
And even for me, I mean, the last 4 years, I've basically been the primary caretaker for our daughter Sasha. But still, he brings in, without me even seeking them, he brings in freelance clients for me, and never more than we can handle, while also still trying to like give full attention to our daughter as much as possible. And so God, just continues to bless us, even though again we could be better stewards of what He's given to us, but at the same time, we just really have that heart to. Like when a missionary visits, it's never, like she'll say to me, hey, should we give some money to them? And like, I almost feel like she's asking that like as if she's like afraid I'm going to say no or something, but there's never been any question. It's like, yeah, of course I want to give to them. And so I guess it's good and bad, like in a way that, without really thinking about it, we just give, but then God always just makes sure that there's enough there for us to be able to give.
Right. And it's not to say that we've never financially struggled, because I think like there was a period after we went to Israel in 2018 that like we were in debt. And so we were kind of struggling a little bit financially for about a year, where I was, we were praying and, like really praying about our debt. But, God provided a solution. Like we were able to refinance, and, now things, I mean, for the past couple of years, like things have been like relatively, like very smooth actually. Even this past year, 2020. Like we've had, everything. We have we haven't been so like I hate you 2020. Like 2020 was the worst year, because for us it was really a blessing to be able to spend a lot of time together. Like for me, like I never really got to spend that much time with our daughter and even Brian, because I was always at work during the day. But being able to spend that time together, and then like I worked full time from home, so God was providing financially for us as well.
And still,
Yeah.
God sent clients for me too, and we were able to, yeah, just He continually increased our territory even in this difficult time, and without really much effort from our own
Right.
end. So
Right.
yeah, it really is the blessing of God.
Right. So yeah, I mean, looking forward, we want to keep, I mean, as I get raises, as more money comes in from Brian, like we continue to tithe more. And then, like, I was really challenged by Pastor Shine and what he said about like how every year he tries to like increase the percentage that he's giving to the Lord. And so, I mean, I tried doing that earlier, I think last year when he mentioned it. And so every year, like, we are hoping to be able to give more and more so that we're living the same lifestyle. Like we're living as though, the income that we received like 2 years ago, that's like our income. And then, but then the rest that comes in, like all of that should be going to the Lord. And so, yeah, I mean, we each have our own vision that God has given to us, which I also feel is a blessing from God. And so, in order to pursue those visions, we also need more financial blessing. So that is, always something that we're praying into, but also understanding that when we give, we're able to receive more from the Lord.
And yeah, so I mean, even going forward, as our daughter gets older and is able to start going to regular school and things like that, then yeah, we're just praying for, especially for me. I'm definitely open wherever God wants to lead us to be able to just increase our territory so that we can give even more back to Him. That's like truly our desire, and we especially want to bless missionaries and pastors, and we have a lot of other visions that God's given to us, but we just continually pray for more, and God just, as He's able to trust us more and more, He gives us more and more. So I think, yeah, one of the things that we really want to kind of encourage everybody is to just, start as early as you can. Even with your children, start them young. It's never too late to start now if you haven't been tithing now, and you can see how God can really just prove Himself to you, and just what do you call it? Be faithful to the promises that He's given in the Bible, and especially for those of you who are about to get married, highly recommend just, it's a perfect time to just start a new habit right there. Just start your marriage tithing. Don't even see what it's like to live without doing it, and then you'll never miss it, basically. And God will definitely reward you for that. And also, just it's been especially my experience that the more you give, the more freely you're willing to give later, and you end up giving more and more. And so just start now. Yeah. And all glory to God.